Now, where do I begin with a movie like the Happytime Murders? First off, if you try to mix and blend Fritz the Cat with Team America World Police, with Who Framed Roger Rabbit, very much in particularly, and Cool World, you get something that looks a lot like this, but with puppets. And with the vulgarity of a Fritz the Cat and a Team America World Police, which all those films I've just mentioned, including Roger Rabbit, have in common. Getting onto the story, you kind of seen it and heard of it before. It's like a buddy type of movie with, one good cop, one bad cop. They don't really like each other. They're just trying to crack a case of why someone was being murdered or hunted down and assassinated. You try to find the clues and so forth. So you already know the story. The difference here is, the jokes are in execution, and the jokes are very rapid fire, very crude, very silly, and you definitely know what you're getting if you are familiar with that sort of adult animation brand of humor that's very present in much of today's lineup that you see on like Comedy Central, Adult Swim, or Fox on Sunday nights, or in Channel 4 if you live in the UK. And speaking of Adult Swim, adult animation, of course, it is not a kids' movie. It is a 15 certificate, and it's rated R with good intention for its crude sexual content, strong language, and occasional drug use. So you've been warned already, haven't you? But that's the thing I love about it. The main reason why I really wanted to see a movie like this was for shock value, and because I, myself, if I was a lot younger, I would have wanted to have seen a movie like this, but I wouldn't have been able to because of that age restriction. But, I'm much older than that now, so I don't really have to worry about that. But it's the surprise element. It's the, oh no, parents are going to be offended and shocked by this. But it turns out when I was at the screening of it, there wasn't as many children trying to sneak into it as much as I presumed. Only one sort of, underage person I really saw in the screen. Most of the people in the screen mostly were like adults, surprisingly. Maybe that's quite juvenile of them. I saw more children at similarly controversial film called Deadpool, and the sequel Deadpool 2, than this, surprisingly. And this was on a Thursday night where you would expect, a lot of people to go see it because they're just curious about it. But unfortunately, the reviews for this film have just not been very good. And I think that's quite a shame, because what they're missing out ultimately is a film that really comes out really only once in a blue moon. It's, adult animation / puppetry element to it, like Sausage Party, which came out 2 years ago, which definitely shocked a lot of people, and so did I. But you know what? That was one of my favorite films that year, and it's also one of my favorite films, period. Regardless. Unfortunately, I can't say the same about that with Happytime. It doesn't live quite up to the strong, whoa type of standards I got with Sausage Party, or even other adult animated films, and like Persepolis, South Park Along with Uncut, actually, I take that one back. 9, Anomalisa, and even, its closest brethren, Team America World Police. It's cool, touch with a movie that is very obscure. It came from New Zealand, and it's from the same guy who done Lord of the Rings, surprisingly. It's called Meet the Feebles. It's available on YouTube for free. If you think that the reviews for this film are just disappointing, you can watch Meet the Feebles for free if you definitely want to see shock value and, the sort of impressionistic, oh, it looks like a kid's movie, but it isn't. I can tell you right now. But, that's where the main element of the film shines, is the shock value element, and, seeing how they manipulate and utilize the puppets, Muppets, Sesame Street style, and put them into crude effect. Much of the problems lie within the fact that it doesn't really go there in terms of the story. Like, we have our villain, but spoiler alert, the villain doesn't really get a very strong demise. Kind of like in Incredibles 2 and Deadpool 2, we don't really see a strong demise for the villain, which is probably, the film's downfall. But hey, at least we get something quite novel, and, something that kind of reminds me of childhood. Destroyed in its own core is the best way to explain it. And if you like, movies of that kind of caliber, you're definitely going to like this. But Needless to say, don't come expecting Roger Rabbit. No, this is not quite in that league. But hey, it's a lot better than that stupid Zootopia film that Disney done. I can tell you right now.